Hello, hello. Were you absent? Were you confused in class today? Were you, I don't know, watching the snow outside? Anyway, we just wanted to walk you through what we did today, what we kind of talked about, and how your assignment works, okay? So first things first, remember you're going to find stuff from today, for today, right on the home screen. You go to this week, or you can go to modules. It'll take you to the same place. Click on today, so January 25th, and here is the objective and agenda. So we're talking about something new today, actually talking about parallelograms. We did go over the week's preview. I do want to encourage you to go back into the modules and take a look at what is happening on Wednesday and even on Thursday. I will tell you that basically what you really need to know is that you need your workbook because we're going to be cranking out some workbook pages. The next thing that we did were what is called online notes. And so if you click on that, it's going to ask you to make a copy of the online notes. So when you do, it's going to take you to this screen. So it takes you to this Google slide, and we are going to be talking about quadrilaterals. We're going to be talking about very special quadrilaterals, though, and the properties that they have, okay? What I want you to do when you get this up is that I actually want you to go look for in Google Images. You can just search for it in Google Images. But I want you to type in parallelograms and properties, okay? And you're going to look for a picture that will give you a really good picture of a parallelogram and all of the properties that it shows. Now, the one that I found that I happen to really like is this one. Okay, this is a really good picture because this picture actually shows you all of the different properties that we're going to be using and utilizing during our talk about parallelograms, okay? One of the things that you need to know is pretty much what properties those are. And so what you're going to do is type into where it says on your screen what I know now. You're actually going to make a list of what those properties of parallelograms are. Okay, so let me go back and show you what they are, and they are actually right here. So opposite sides are not only parallel, that's what this symbol means, opposite sides are parallel, but opposite sides are also congruent, okay? The diagonals are going to bisect each other. Opposite angles are congruent. And then adjacent angles, those are the angles that are right next to each other, they're supplementary. So that means that they add up to be 180. Now, I want to talk to you really quickly about this diagonals bisecting each other. So AC and DB are the diagonals. They intersect right here, but you'll notice that when they cross, they bisect each other. That means that A to the middle and from the middle to C, those two pieces are actually equal to each other, okay? So you're going to type all of this in to your own Google slide. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot or a picture of that for the next piece, okay? If we go back into Canvas and you look at where it says maze, right? This is the actual assignment. Remember, anything with a star by it is the actual assignment. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to the actual maze assignment, the parallelogram maze, okay? That maze is right here. And if you take a look, slide number 1, right, these are your maze, or this is the maze, you're going to put your notes, a screenshot of your notes, right here on page or slide 2, okay? That's what you're going to do. After you take that screenshot, we're going to go in and actually do a couple of these problems. So we've done a couple of mazes before. Remember, you're going to start in the starting point. You're going to get an answer. Your answer is either going to be 3, 4, 14, and then you're going to go to the next problem. Solve that one, you're either going to get an answer. You're going to go to the next problem. So a couple of things that you're going to do. Number 1 is you're going to do all of your problems on a separate sheet of paper, because if you take a look at slide 4 and 5, you have to put images of your work right there. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to follow the maze. And so you're going to put in an arrow to what number or what answer it happens to be. Okay, so I've actually already done a couple of these problems, so I want to show you this very first one. So let's get started. All right, so here is the very first one. Now I redrew the picture. It doesn't exactly look the same as the picture does on the PowerPoint, or I mean on the Google slide, but that's okay. It's pretty close. I will tell you that we definitely want to set these two expressions equal to each other. So 23x plus 2 is equal to 71. But that is because since these are two parallel lines, they are cut by a transversal, and these are alternate interior angles. And alternate interior angles end up being congruent. So you set them equal to each other, okay? When you're done and you do a little bit of solving, you should get that x equals 3. So when you get x equals 3, you're going to go back into your Google slide. So question number 1 goes to the side. It goes to the left. So we're going to add in an arrow. Now, you don't have to add in the left arrow. You don't even have to add in an arrow that looks like that one if you don't want to. If you end up adding in the wrong directional arrow, okay, so let's say I add in this one and I'm like, wait a minute, it's going the wrong way. Not a big deal. You can come up to this dot at the top and just twist it and turn it around so that now it's facing the correct direction, okay? The other thing that's kind of fun to do is to change the color of it, and you do that by clicking on the fill box. So you can make it the same color that the background is if you want. You can make it a brighter color. It doesn't matter. You can do a rainbow if you want. That's entirely up to you. But the next problem that you're going to do is this problem right here, okay? And on this problem right here, we have an angle up here that has been marked as 125 minus 2x. There's another angle down here that has been marked as 19x minus 1, and those are opposite angles, and according to our notes, opposite angles are equal to each other. So let's go back in and do that problem. So you're going to set those two expressions equal to each other. You're going to do a little bit of algebra. I will tell you as you start to go through the algebra that you want to try to keep your x's positive, right? So I would definitely add the 2x over. That way you have a positive 21x, okay? But when you get done, you should end up with x to equal 6. And so let's go in that direction. Okay, so I know I'm going down, and that's the problem I'm going to do. Now keep in mind, you should be writing all of this down because this is what you're going to also turn in, right? You have to turn in the work that goes with it. All right, so I put in an arrow that went down. I'm going to go ahead and make this a bright yellow, and then we're going to do the next problem. Okay, the next problem is a little bit more of a challenge because just because of the way I think that it's drawn, okay, but this is using the property that those adjacent angles are actually going to be supplementary, okay, and so I'm just going to redraw this for you and kind of show you how this one works. But adjacent angles are definitely supplementary, okay? All right, so if we go back into our paper and we look, okay, so here is this problem. The reason why we want to add x minus 3, 61, and 43 and set it equal to 180 is because x minus 3 is one angle and the adjacent angle next to it is actually 104 degrees. It's both the 61 and the 43, okay? So both of those get added together, okay? And so that's going to equal 180. So do a little bit of math, do a little bit of algebra, go back into your maze and see which direction you're going to go. Did you get a 31, a 12, an 11, or a 79? Okay, you shouldn't get a 4 because it shouldn't take you back to the start. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to go back into Canvas and you're going to hit the submit button when you're finished.